one of the very few times you can say you've been blown in WoW. It's Dreamscythe and Weaver here on this raid guide video. My name's Coyote. Let's get to it.
Stupid Coyote.
These two are straight up mechanics check. Can you do the things while doing damage to survive? They're very easy, and as long as you position them in the right way and position yourselves in the right way, they're going to go down pretty simple. I'll explain. Acid Breath is your main tank ability, all right? This is going to do 450 to 550 nature damage and an additional 200 damage every second per stack to a cone in front of the caster. This ability really becomes a key thing in Phase 3 because there's really no way to swap unless you have an off tank with you. I highly recommend putting a hunter in your group to run Aspect of the Wild, or if you're a shaman, you can run your nature resistance totems, but I know a lot of people would rather just have them. That extra resistance helps out and it'll keep your tanks from being eaten alive. A key part of this ability is positioning it so it doesn't hit anybody in the raid, but we'll get into that later. Our next major ability where you really need to pay attention to your positioning is Wing Flap, all right? In the initial phases, it's going to come in from one dragon, but when you get to Phase 3, positioning becomes even more important because you're going to get it from both. You'll have a Wing Flap and a delayed Wing Flap. Dreamscythe will Wing Flap first in the third phase, and then Weaver. You just got to make sure you're standing far enough away because the closer you are to them, the more damage you're going to take from the cone. The final ability of this boss that really makes positioning even more important is Caustic Overflow. All right, the area around the bosses are going to fill up with fire, and as always, fire bad. Fire not good, no stand fire. At the start of the fight, you're going to be taking on a single boss, all right? You're going to whittle them down to 80%, and then the next one will come out. And then you'll do that again, and then you have the last 60% of this boss with both of them up. So this is why your positioning is going to be key to your success in the fight. So let's go over it. I've been harping on it since the start of the video. This is all about positioning. So let's start off with our tanks. Tanks, no matter what phase it is, always keep the dragons kind of pointing in towards the ring. Your right hand should be wherever that circle is in the center of the ring. This keeps you from getting blown back by their little mini wing buffet that could knock you into the Caustic Overflow. And it also gives your melee DPS room to be able to attack on the side. For the first two phases, nothing's really going to change about this positioning. Taunt swap when you have too many stacks of Acid Breath, and then get ready for Phase 3 when both dragons come out. Now with Phase 3, I highly recommend just having one tank and maybe a healer kind of peel off a little bit to give them some more room, keeping them close to where multi-dotters can keep them dotted up. Have all your melee stick to the same dragon though. This will make healing a lot easier and not having to worry about spreading out all over the place. For the purposes of range DPS, I recommend picking somebody that can just be a center stack point, all right? That way everybody can look to one person during the wing buffet and run to them. Now, this range stack is going to want to stick pretty close to both of the bosses, so that way any multi-dotters, yet again, can hit both bosses. Because they share the same health pool, this is going to help whittle them down that much faster. No matter what phase you're in, they are going to dart across the arenas and try to hit you with the wing buffet. Now, this is where it's key to have somebody that has got great positional awareness because they can position themselves to be ready for the wing buffet. As long as you're not in between the dragons and the hole, you're going to be safe. Remember, the further you are away from the initial one, the less damage you're going to take overall during this transition. After the wing buffet phase, the bosses will return to the tanks they were attacking, and it just repeats from there. The big thing is making sure you're putting yourself in good positions. Outside of that, it's actually a simple boss. If you found this video helpful, do me a favor, like and share with others. That way they can get some use out of it too, and subscribe to the channel. Drop a comment if you think there's something I'm missing or you want to add to something. I'd love to hear from you. As always, my name's Coyote. Happy adventures.
Stupid Coyote.